Or said they was going to give us some money and we need some from you. And they would finance their campaigns, which technically made them independent in their communities.
Right.
I said, and I don't see that happening anymore. That's why they're allowing them to destroy the Washington Park area with the so-called Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
If they get the Olympics.
If they get the Olympics, right.
And if they don't, look at all, the city's in trouble.
Right, the city's in trouble. Not only the city, the state, the whole thing has been bankrupt as a result of the Federal Reserve printing up all this doggone worthless money.
And that's not being pro any particular political candidate.
Right.
But there's only one entity in this whole state that is not bankrupt, and that's the county.
Oh, the county's not bankrupt, huh?
No.
Okay.
No, they have a surplus. Yet that's the only person politically that I hear them talking about. I mean, out of the 10 largest counties in the country, Cook County in Illinois is the only one that's not going bankrupt.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
But they don't tell people. They tell people
exactly.
everything else. So they've got, I think, almost about $100 and some million in surplus, a little over that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the state don't have that.
No.
The city don't have that.
Right.
All the Board of Education don't have that.
Exactly.
Somebody's trying to mislead the people.
Exactly.
When, as you said, the city is going bankrupt. I'd go so far as to say the state is going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have no money.
Exactly.
Now, years ago, I put in an amendment to the budget to tax the Board of Trade and the Board of Options, a 1% tax. And I later gave copies of to certain politicians in the state when they were shortfall of money. I've never seen it produced today, because in 1995, the Board of Trade and Board of Options collected $45 billion in this city. A 1% tax, which they weren't going to pay anyway, people buying the stocks would have paid it.
Right.
It would have produced $459 million. Just think, they wouldn't have a shortfall at all, would they?
No.
But it's poor people who have to pay taxes, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, it's basically poor people. I mean,
it's not rich folks.
Oh, not rich folks. I mean,
So they tabled my amendment.
Well, not only that, well, what the problem is, you know, the way the thing is structured, just like on a statewide, on a federal government, you got a huge amount of waste at the top of this thing. You got a defense budget that's $500 billion. You got a whole bunch of stuff that you could yank out, just cut it in half. You just don't need it, but because there's so much. Just for instance, we got 200 bases around the world. Maybe 200 bases. Mm-hmm. They got SUVs. They got they need all types of goods and services supplied here in America. Mm-hmm. Obama couldn't close those bases if he wanted, because he'd probably be assassinated. Because you got families that sells various services to the to the Defense Department. So you cut them back, you cut back their food supply.
Well, Doc, when I was in prison as a political prisoner, there's a young man who was from Milwaukee who was in there. And when I first got there, the first day they told me to get a bucket and go mop some TV rooms and etc. And he had been there. They told him, they called him East Side. He lives up in Milwaukee. They came to him, "We want you to go with the old man and you all gonna do this." He said, "I didn't come here to mop no floors. I came here to do some time." So I talked to the young fella. I said, "Look, you're gonna take away your good time. You're gonna be here longer. Listen to the old man." So he said, "Okay." And as we were working, he said, "You know something, old man? We wouldn't even be in here if they wasn't making money."
That's the whole point, exactly.
And I never forgot that, you know, the whole time I was there. He said, "Look at them trucks over there bringing all that stuff in, that food. They making money."
Oh, yeah. And you know, it's hard to get those contracts, any minority to get those type contracts.
Well, George Bush's cousin had the contract for the
federal prisons?
Well, the one, you know, can go buy candy and all that stuff.
Commissaries.
Commissary. His cousin had the contract for those all over the United States. Interesting. You didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Millions of dollars he made.
Right.
Because they're...
Well, those are the things that we're talking about, that people, the average middle class folks don't understand, that when you're tied into politicians, you had, just like the ancient kings, you had these caravans that would go to certain places. One family would own the silk caravan that would go from Egypt into just say into Babylon. And those people would fight for those types of concessions. So this is what we're talking about now, is that families are fighting for those types of, you can't get reform because this is all tied up into a big family type thing.
Well, I think we've had an opportunity to share a lot of information, Doc, with the people. Anything you'd like to say before we go?
Okay, I like to say this. Like I said, we're in a total deliberately meltdown. I mean, you may not believe it. You may be in a state of denial. But let me say this. You're going to prepare physically, psychologically, and spiritually. That means, for currency, you're going to have to wind up trying to get you some silver coins or some gold coins. You may have to try to get a career that which you think that would survive under this situation of being an embalmer or whatever, a nurse or whatever. You're going to start thinking about how to survive in this meltdown that we're having. Psychologically be able to prepare for the chaos that's going to take place, and spiritually understand that this stuff is all foreknown and preordained, and that the forces that have caused in this type of chaos are Luciferian, and they will be defeated. These are things that you're going to have to see. Again, you can contact me at PLIM, P-L-I-M, at PLIM.org. That's PLIM, P-L-I-M, at PLIM.org. Again, I want to thank Clifton Bradley and Vergil for standing in, for inviting me here. And again, I want to say peace, and may the Holy Spirit bless you with understanding.